Welcome to ProjectSight's online training series. If you'd like to learn more about professional services or additional training opportunities, please contact your account manager. Now, let's get started with ProjectSight Document Control.
Welcome everyone, my name is Hunter Dickerson, and in this video we'll be tackling the Document Control module. On the agenda for this video, we have action items, issues, meeting minutes, RFIs, and submittals. So without further ado, let's get started. Once inside our project, we can go ahead and find our Document Control module. The Document Control module contains records for managing project-related documents and communication. You have your action items here to assign tasks that need to be completed in an orderly fashion. Use issues to highlight any roadblocks in the construction process. Meeting minutes to schedule meetings and record necessary notes. RFIs to track questions and answers between your project team. And submittals to track items that require approval before they're fabricated and delivered to the designated location. Now, before we jump into our first feature here, action items, I do want to point out over here on the right hand side where you can see things that are assigned to yourself and also other items that are due within the Document Control module. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into action items here. Action items can be used for any task that needs to be followed up on. Now, before we create a sample action item, I do want to point out the icons along the top. So first we have our import-export option here. You can use our Excel template to import multiple records at once. Use the print icon to print, view, and send reports of these records. The information tab here is used to see the details of a selected record. Using the search option, you can search and filter for the records that you're looking for. Now let's go ahead and create a new one. So notice the fields that are required. So first we have subject. I'll go ahead and select the type as a follow-up. And I'll assign this one to myself. And we'll put in a description. Alright, I'll go ahead and click Save. And now you can see our newly created record. Now, if I double click on this record or click the expand option here, it'll take us into the full form. Once inside your record, in the middle of your screen, you can see the communication back and forth between your team. If I needed to add a comment to this record, I can add it down here. Now, if I do add a comment, I can also mark it as a resolution to this record. And like other comments inside ProjectSight, I can link this to a file or another record within the system. Off to the right, I can change the details about this record, such as the status, due dates, and add new assignees, or mark this assignment as done. Along the top, I can copy this record, print or send a report, or delete it. Clicking the sharing panel, I can choose who I want to share this record with. Right now it's only participating companies, but I could share this record with the entire project. And like all other records, I could add links from here. Now, since this assignment isn't due until next week, I'm going to leave it open. Well, that wraps up action items. Make use of these so your team can stay on the same page about project tasks. At this point, we'll back out to the document control and into issues. Remember that issues can be used for anything that's impeding the progress of your project. Now, at first glance, this page is identical to the landing page of action items. So let's double click in one of these items to see what's different. Once inside an issue record, off to the right, you'll notice it's the same as an action item. The same with the comments area. The difference between action items and issues, other than its use case, is this impact tab here. With issues, you can track the impact to your project in 3 separate ways. First, how much extra cash is this issue going to cost? Is it going to add any extra days to your project? Or if this is a design issue, will it change your drawings? And have you updated them yet? These impacts are indicators of what this record may be linked to later down the road. Well, that's it for issues. If that next storm brings a lot of rain and your job site becomes flooded, make sure you're utilizing this feature. Next up, we have meeting minutes. Let's take a look. Remember that meeting minutes can be used to organize your project meetings as well as keep track of notes and assignments. Before I take you into a fully fleshed out meeting, I'll first take you through the creation process. So in the top right of your screen, we have our Create New icon. From the drop down, you'll choose your meeting name. These can be added to by your project admin. Next, the purpose of our meeting. And our meeting location. And then we'll add the date, start time, and end time. And we're ready to go. Once inside your meeting, off to the right, you'll first notice the Create Next Meeting icon. Once this meeting has been attended and completed, you can create the next meeting in line. Right below it, you can also change the status here. And even more importantly, you can add your attendees for this meeting. Now, at this point, you could go ahead and send out the invitation and all attendees would receive an email notification. In most cases though, it's a good idea to add a couple topics to your agenda before sending out the invitation. To add a new topic, click the Add button here, and you'll notice the areas that are required. I always like to add a topic. These topics can be added to by your project administrator. To add more information to this line item, you can click the arrow here. From here, I can add more description, but I can also add the responsible company, importance, due date of this line item, and even add assignees to this individual line item in your agenda. You can also have communication back and forth on this line item. But in most cases, before you send out the invitation, it's just good to have a topic and a description. So this would be a good time to go ahead and send out your invitation. From here, I can customize the message that goes out. Now also notice along the top here is an overall comments area for this entire meeting. Now let's go ahead and back out and I'll show you a fully fleshed out meeting. Let's go ahead and jump into our weekly construction progress meeting. In this scenario, this meeting has already occurred, and detailed notes have been taken for each topic within the description areas. Even further, each topic has been assigned to someone on my project team. A lot of these topics have been closed out during this meeting, while others are still in progress. Now, it is important to note that you can still add new topics to your agenda even after the invitation has been sent. Under attendees, you'll notice everyone with a green arrow is marked as present. Those who have not are either marked as absent or have nothing under their name. When a report is generated from this meeting, those attendees with the present checked will show up as attended. Those who have nothing or are absent will show up under the non-attendees column. Now, let's go ahead and close out this meeting. First, I'll change the status, and then I'll create the next meeting for all the items that weren't closed out. Notice even if an item was closed out, I can select it to carry it over to the next meeting. Now when I go back, I'll see my new meeting here. So that wraps it up for meeting minutes. Let's go ahead and head back to document control, and I'll take you into RFIs. RFIs look very similar to both issues and action items. To create a new one, click the Create New icon in the top right-hand corner. You have many of the same fields: status, subject, due dates, and assignees. The main difference here is that instead of a description, you enter a question. Let's take a look at one of these RFIs that's already been recorded. This layout should now be familiar to you. Off to the right, we have our detailed info. In the middle of your screen, you first have your question, area for comments, and an area to enter additional comments. If I want to log this comment as my answer, I first type my comment and hit the Log as Answer toggle. Also notice, on my question, this is linked to a drawing. Now, similar to an issue, we also have an Impact tab. Well, before we back out, now that I've answered this RFI, I first want to check my assignment off as done, and go ahead and close this out. Now when I see my door entrance RFI tile, the answer shows here. Let's go ahead and back out of RFIs, and we'll end with submittals. The submittal process can be a pain, but ProjectSight makes it easy to submit items for review and track their status through to their successful delivery. Let's walk through a simple example. So first, click the Create New icon, enter a subject, revision number, type, and spec section. You can also enter your submittal package if you have those listed, as well as the location. We'll add our assignee and description. Now I'll go ahead and hit save and log in as our subcontractor to walk through the process on their end. My subcontractor would have received an email notifying him of that submittal. He also sees an assignment within the document control module. Once in, right in the middle of the page is an area to drop in documents for review. There's also a toggle switch here for physical submittals. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop a little note. And since my work as the subcontractor is done here, click the check mark. And I can even change the status to submitted. And if he knows the next person in line, he can assign it, or the administrator or whoever's overseeing this item can assign the next person. I'm going to go ahead and assign it. Now Chance, when logged in, sees that there's a submittal in his court. Here's the file that was attached for review. And Chance can open it, and using our redlining tool, can mark up this image using the tools above. There's a freehand tool, an add image tool for electronic stamps, or even a signature tool. Once done, click Done, and mark his assignment as complete. Now you'll also notice there's a tracking tab here. Throughout this process, you can track all of the important dates here, such as the start date, lead times, due date, actual date it was submitted, the return date, and the schedule and actual delivery dates. We'll go ahead and back out of here. It is also important to note that if a submittal record is rejected or needs to be revised, you can change the status here and use the copy function to start a new revision. Well, that brings us to the end of our video. Hopefully you can see the ease of use and the time saved by using ProjectSight's document control module. Once again, this is Hunter Dickerson. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about professional services or additional training opportunities, please contact your account manager.